What's up, everybody? So we're back out in the shop, and in this episode I figured I would give y'all a quick rundown of my experience, my key takeaways, and stuff that I got from the 2022 Texas Blade Show. So the big reason behind going to this actual show was to hang out with, Logan, Brackin, Denis, Tyrell, Drew Liniger, a few of the guys from the actual YouTube Knife Makers Challenge. We're doing the dagger build off right now. And being able to hang out with those guys, talk about YouTube, talk about knife making, talk about just life in general was really cool. Even though we have a Slack channel where we get to kind of go back and forth on a few different things, it's really nice to be able to sit down and just have meaningful conversations with these guys. So it was nice. That was the real deciding factor to go to this show, and I'm happy that I did, because on top of that, I got to talk to a ton of other knife makers. In my town, we only have a few knife makers, and we talk here and there, but it's really different whenever you actually get to talk to 60 different knife makers, hold their knives, look at the way they do their handle ergonomics and their handle construction and blade construction, and how they do different things within their aesthetics, their styles, and their fit and finishes, and everything was just absolutely awesome. And pick their brains and kind of take little key takeaways from each little type of knife and the way that they do them, and kind of tailor it to what I do within my knife making. That was absolutely awesome, and one of the most valuable things that I could get from this actual event, and I had a blast with it. Now, one of the things to know about knife shows like this is it is the knife maker's job to actually sell their merchandise. They pay a lot of money for the tables. They got to pay for gas, which is $1 billion. They got to pay for food. They got to pay for, hotels and stuff like that. Maybe flights if they flew there. So they do need to sell their stuff to offset that cost. So, that is part of it. You walk by a table and they're like, they want to sell you stuff, but it's also awesome to be able to go, I'm also a knife maker. I also do these things, and I just wanted to kind of pick your brain about this. It's not cool to say, I'm a knife maker, not a knife buyer, and be super cocky about it. That's just pointless. Don't do that. Don't be that guy. Go to the tables. Hey, I'm just letting you know, I make knives too, but I really wanted to check out your knives and see how you made them, and kind of pick your brain about some of the choices that you make. That's the way to approach fellow knife makers, not, I'm a knife maker, not a knife collector. Don't try and pitch me your knives. Don't be the guy that does that. Be a super just cool, chill, laid-back dude, so you can actually talk to these guys about what choices they make, and they will tell you about all kinds of stuff and give you all kinds of info, and maybe you can give them info as well. So I got that same feel from everybody. Guys that have only been making up to around 5 years or a little bit less, so still newer knife makers, all the way up to the guys in the Mastersmith section of this event that have been working on knives for 20, 30, 40 years. They'll make a knife and it will take 2 to 3 months to make that knife. So it was nice being able to talk to the different levels of knife makers and just picking their brains. I've got a few styles of handle construction that I'm going to be doing moving forward based on some of these makers, and I think y'all are going to want to replicate it as well. So it'll be good videos when we actually start that process. So I think y'all are going to have a blast kind of seeing what I learned from the show and then trying to replicate it yourselves. Now, one of the things that I'm going to do because of this show is I'm actually going to attend the Atlanta show as well. So Denis is going to be there. He's going to have a booth and everything set up with his knives. I'm going to go hang out with him and enjoy the show all at the same time, but I'm going to fly there, be there for that. I'm going to let y'all know so that if y'all want to come and say hi to me or come and say hi to Denis, y'all can actually go ahead and do that, but it'll be pretty cool, and I'll be at that event. Now, other little takeaways. It wasn't just the knife makers that you get to talk to, and if you're hesitant to go to a knife show because you don't buy knives, you make them, and you don't think that you need to go there because you're not going to purchase anything, no, stop that. Go there, hold the knives, talk to the people, and get that experience. You don't have to buy anything, but you might buy stuff, but you'll buy them from the vendors. Things like knife steel, handle material, belts, stuff like that, like I have underneath the camera right here. And you might get a few little bits of information from the vendors. So I was talking to Pop's Knife Supply. I was talking to, the Atlas Tools guys, the Brodbeck, the Ameribraids, and all these cool people, Jantz, just that do all of this stuff, and you get all your materials from. It was nice to talk to them and see their thought process behind what they do, and ways that they use their 2x72s and how their belt construction is for their different belts and why they went certain directions with certain tools. It was nice talking to those guys about that stuff and getting that really cool info to help myself make better decisions within my own shop. So I thought that was awesome, and again, some of the most valuable information that you can get all in one place. So I really suggest that y'all end up going to a show like that and chatting with the people. So those are kind of takeaways that I got, plus, all the materials that I got. So one of the things, I was talking to Pop's Knife Supply, and of course I was also talking to Logan, and he suggested that I work with 8670, and then we went over there, Logan and I were talking to Pop's Knife Supply, and those guys were like, yeah, you definitely need to try some 8670. They did hook me up with a big old 1/4 inch thick by 1.5 inch chunk of it, by 4 feet, big old chunk. And I am going to be using that. They said that this is going to be like the new 80 CRV2. It's going to be the new hit thing. It has an insane edge retention. It's an amazing steel to work with. And the whole point behind this steel is it comes completely ready to go. You profile it, put your bevels, do all that stuff, heat treat it. That's all you got to do. You don't have to normalize it, thermocycle it, any of those things. It's ready to go. Heat treat, temper, got yourself a knife. So that was pretty cool. I thought that that was awesome. I'm still going to be forging some of it. They were telling me that it's not even really necessary to do that, but I'm still going to forge some of it anyways. But I've got a cool knife, or 3, that I'm going to make out of this with the materials that I have right below me. Now, I did that with Pops, talked to them, did that stuff, got some cool info on a bunch of other things, but got this still from them. I'm going to leave a link for that, or a link for them in the description below if you want to go check them out. Plus, from Jantz, I got some cool handle material. So, we got some Juma, which is this awesome stuff right here. It kind of looks like it has scales like a lizard in it. That is going to be really cool and make a really cool handle. Plus, just a big old chunk of stabilized and dyed bone. It looks really cool. I've got a really cool build that's going to be coming up with this guy, and I'm going to be using like sinew and all kinds of stuff. This is going to be epic. Y'all are going to like that build whenever we make it. Plus I got 2 other sets of scales that were also bone. These guys right here. I'm going to do a really cool Tonto style blade with this one, and then a really cool chef's knife with this guy right here. Those are going to be absolutely epic. Cannot wait to make those knives, even though I have to wait because we're going to be doing the shop expansion over the next few weeks. But I've got those set up for future knife builds. Now, one of the other things that I got from Atlas Tools, they gave me this big old chunk of 5160. So they had this stuff tested, and supposedly this is some of the best 5160 you could possibly work with. It was never used. It was made, but never actually used on a machine. So I don't have to worry about the abuse that went through, a machine spring or a leaf spring or anything like that. This is pretty much virgin steel. So that's really cool. I'm going to be cutting off a few pieces of it, making some integral bolster knives and a few other things with this particular steel. So that's going to be really cool. I'm going to leave a link for their website in the description below as well. Now, these guys aren't sponsors, but I want to let you know where I got these things so you can go give them some love, because they gave me really good info on all of these particular things. Now, one of the cool parts, Brodbeck, they hooked me up with 2 boxes of belts. So these are the incinerator belts, plus another set of ceramic belts, plus a ton of higher grip belts. So they hooked me up with probably, this is hundreds of dollars worth of belts, and I'm really appreciative of that. I won't need belts for a while. With how many knives I make, I've already got some of the incinerator belts. I used one on the Dagger Challenge build, and that's got 8 bevels on it. So, Easter egg. It's got a lot of bevels on that particular build, and that thing is huge, and the belt still looks brand new. So I'm going to be using these belts for at least the next year, and I'm really appreciative of them. I'm going to leave a link for that in the description below as well. None of these guys, like I said, are sponsors, but they helped me out, they hooked me up, and I definitely want to share the love. So definitely go check them out and click on the little links. None of them are affiliate links. It's just purely me saying, hey, go give them some love, check them out, and do your thing. But guys, this was an awesome event. Being able to get these from them and get good information was like some of the most valuable stuff ever. And being able to get your face in people's minds, you know, they might know who you are, know what you make, but until they actually get to meet you in person, they don't know much about you. So it is nice to get yourself out there. Like I said, I'm going to be going to the Atlanta show, you know, seeing how that goes. Now, one of the other things I'm going to tell y'all about, I'm going to leave a link for myself in the description below, theroofersexperience.com. Make sure you go scoop yourself up a shirt, something like this, one of my other shirts, maybe a mug. Get yourself one of those guys right there, you know. Get you some coffee or something in there. Get you something like that. Maybe check out a knife or two. Guys, thank y'all for coming by. If you would, give the video a thumbs up, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Y'all have an amazing day. Y'all stay safe out there. And I'll catch y'all on Tuesday for some Shop Talk Tuesday action. See y'all.